I would like to know if you are genuinely living or merely passing through the motions. I'm not just talking about existing. I'm talking about genuinely living. Consider your regular day. Get up, go to work, browse on your phone, eat, sleep, and resume the loop. The following day, weeks become months, months become years, and before you know it, time has gone by with nothing really different. You go to work because you have to, and you follow your routines because they are comfortable. You tell yourself that one day things will be different, but you know deep down that day will never happen until you force it to be. The majority of people are locked in this never-ending cycle, thinking that this is the way life is meant to be. But are they genuinely chasing their objectives, pushing the boundaries, and living each day to the fullest? Or are they merely existing while life quietly passes them by? Most people are ignorant that they die long before their bodies do, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It doesn't happen suddenly like an accident or sickness. Rather, it's a steady, silent withering of everything that once made them feel alive. By the time they reach 25, something inside of them begins to wither. Their once inspirations, which once led them to question everything, are replaced by routine and indifference, and they exchange their passion for what society refers to be security, and their potential for what others call practicality. They gradually settle into a life of repetition, performing the same job, having the same conversations, and adopting the same habits, but on the inside they are empty, merely shadows of who they once were. They are not genuinely living. Instead, they are waiting for retirement, waiting for something interesting to happen, waiting for the end, when in truth they died the moment they stop taking risks because they fear failure. They stop learning because they believe they already know enough. They stop pushing themselves because familiarity feels safer than the unexpected. They had dreams and enthusiasm, but somewhere along the line they lost themselves. They don't even recognize it. They move, chat, and work, but there's no fire in their eyes, no thrill in their voice, no thirst for something better. They're alive, but not fully living. It's painful because they were previously interested and wanted more out of life. But over time, they were taught to be realistic, to follow the rules without questioning them. And that failure is something to be feared rather than something to learn from. As a result, they gradually stopped exploring, stopped taking chances, and lost faith in themselves. I remember a student I once taught who was strong, talented, and full of potential. He had everything he needed to be great. But when I asked him to try a new movement to express it in his own way, he hesitated, didn't even try, instead looking at me and saying, "Just show me the right way, and I'll copy it perfectly." In that moment, I saw it the death of his spirit, not because he wasn't capable, but because he had been conditioned to follow, not create, to avoid mistakes at all costs rather than enjoy the process of learning. And that's the tragedy. Many individuals are caught in this mindset. They follow directions, keep to routines, and never examine whether the route they are on is what they really want. They avoid suffering, but in doing so, they also restrict themselves from growing since they are frightened to leave their comfort zone. As a result, they remain in a self-imposed prison where the walls are created from their own worries and doubts. But the truth is, strength comes from challenges, and development comes from overcoming them. Failure is the source of success. Those who dare to step out are the ones who are actually alive. Look about you. How many people do you notice who are only existing, not living? More importantly, are you one of them? People who are willing to make errors, fall, and then rise again are above what is comfortable. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Every important accomplishment, every turning point, and every step you take to become your best self occurs when you push past what is comfortable and known. The strongest trees in a forest don't grow tall and unbreakable because they were insulated from storms. Rather, they grew strong because they met storms, which drove the wind to push their roots deeper, making them unbreakable. Similarly, human beings are fashioned into something larger by the times that test you and make you uncomfortable. When you push yourself above what feels safe, you discover new levels of strength, skill, and confidence. Discomfort is an indication that you are developing. Ask yourself if you are developing or merely existing. If you want to become stronger, wiser, and more capable, you must be willing to venture outside of your comfort zone. Every successful person, champion, and leader has had times when they wanted to quit up, but they decided to embrace the battle, knowing that on the other side of discomfort lies transformation. Accept the discomfort, since that's where actual development starts. Your life is shaped by the little decisions you make every day, not by one huge one. Every action you take votes for the person you will become. Do you choose to hit snooze and stay in bed, or do you choose to learn something new? Or do you spend hours scrolling through distraction? Whether you choose to settle for mediocrity or construct a successful life rests on these decisions made regularly throughout time. Many folks think that luck is the key to success, talent, or a single life-altering event. But in truth, success is founded on the modest, usually invisible habits you perform every day. A champion doesn't get great immediately. Instead, they train daily to push themselves to the edge. A prosperous business person builds their expertise over time rather than becoming affluent instantly. Take chances and continuously enhance your tiny, consistent activities to shape your future. If you want to make changes in your life, don't wait for a huge event. Change starts with the decisions you make today. If you want to be healthy, exercise today, learn something new today, or become more disciplined, push yourself today. After all, your actions define you more than your words. So examine what decisions you are making today. Will they get you closer to the life you seek or farther away from it? When you look back on your life, do you want to see a life filled of daring decisions, personal development, and meaningful events? Or will you see regrets? Most individuals live as though they have limitless time, thinking that they can start someday. But in reality, life is occurring right now, and every second that goes by is one you can never get back. The dreams you never pursued, the chances you never took, the moments you let slip away because of fear or doubt, the truly living are those who recognize that life is fleeting and that every moment presents an opportunity to pursue your goals, push yourself to the limit, love deeply, and create something meaningful. No one will come to your rescue or give you the life you desire. It is up to you to pursue your objectives, achieve, and be happy. If you want a different life, make other decisions. If you want to leave a legacy, start building it now. Don't let your tale be one of regret. You only have one life, so make the most of it by being fearless, taking action, and enjoying life to the fullest, because when the last chapter of your life is written, make sure it's a tale worth telling. Do you feel like you're just counting the days waiting for something to change? Because here's the truth, nothing will change unless you do. You see, death is not just something that happens at the end of life. It happens every end of life. It happens every time you let fear stop you from trying. It happens when you trade passion for comfort. It happens when you give up on your dreams because they seem too hard or too risky. It happens when you choose the safe path over the one that excites you. That kind of death is slow, silent, and far more tragic than physical death, because the real question is not whether you will die. That's inevitable. The real question is, will you ever truly live? Will you take control of your life and chase what sets your soul on fire? Will you push past fear and take the risks that make life worth living? Or will you let your days slip away, waiting for a perfect moment that will never come? You have a choice right here, right now. You can continue to drift through life, letting time pass you by. Or you can wake up, you can take charge, you can decide today that you will no longer settle for a life of mere existence. So, ask yourself again, are you ready to wake up? Because the clock is ticking. And the time to start living is now. Most people live with the idea that tomorrow is when everything will change. They tell themselves, I'll start working on my dreams. Tomorrow, I'll take that risk. Tomorrow, I'll become the person I want to be tomorrow. But what they don't realize is that tomorrow is a lie. Comfortable illusion that keeps them from taking action today when tomorrow finally arrives. It is no longer the future, it becomes today. And instead of taking that first step, they find another easy excuse. I'm not ready yet. Maybe next week. I'll wait for the perfect moment. And so their dreams are pushed further and further away, lost in a never-ending cycle of postponement. But here's the truth. There is no perfect moment. Every significant accomplishment, every life-altering choice, and every step towards success begins in the present. People who succeed are not the ones who wait. Rather, they are the ones who take action. Therefore, ask yourself what you have been putting off. What desires, what goals, what opportunities have you been waiting for? And when is the ideal time to pursue them? There is no promise that tomorrow will arrive. Your moment is now. Fear is the unseen rope that hinders most people from leading the life they genuinely desire. Telling them in their ears that they are insufficient, unprepared, and incompetent persuades them to remain in their current location in order to decrease the risks, to select comfort over development. But ponder this. What would you do if fear weren't there? Halting you, would you embark on that voyage? Would you speak your mind without hesitation? Would you create that business of your dreams, write that book, master that ability, or follow your passion? Imagine living a life free from fear, where your decisions are guided by want rather than doubt, that life is possible, but only if you choose to break free. The truth is that fear is a natural aspect of being human, but it is not supposed to stop you. Rather, it is meant to be defeated. The most successful individuals in the world are not fearless. They just refuse to let fear control their future. They experience the fear and take action regardless of how insignificant it may seem. The only way to genuinely live is to stop allowing fear to control you and take the first step forward, no matter how tiny. Most people are so frightened of failing that they never even try, because they regard failure as something to be ashamed of, something that labels them as inadequate. Failure is the route to success, not the opponent of it. Think of a child learning to walk, who falls hundreds of times but never loses up. They don't sit on the ground and say, maybe walking isn't for me, but they keep getting up, adjusting, and trying again, until they succeed one day. That's how all growth works. Yet somewhere along the line, every brilliant innovator, world-class athlete, and successful business has failed more times than they can count. The only genuine failure is giving up. If you quit, you are sure that you will never achieve. However, if you keep going, changing and learning from every error, success becomes inevitable. Therefore, the next time you hesitate thinking you might fail, realize that this failure is merely a stepping stone. The ones that succeed are not the ones who never fail, but rather the ones who never stop trying, fail, improve, and keep moving forward. Most people desire comfort. They want an easy, predictable life where nothing challenges them, nothing pushes them too hard, and nothing requires them to struggle. However, the truth is that most individuals desire comfort. Imagine a child who is fearless, inquisitive, and full of life. They explore the world with wide eyes, always asking questions such, "Why is the sky blue? Why do birds fly? Why can't I do this?" They don't worry falling and failing to look silly. They try, they make errors, they laugh, and they try again. To them, every setback is simply a part of the journey. They are alive in the purest sense of the word, but then something occurs. Something occurs. At first, society intervenes softly. Stop asking too many questions. That's simply the way things are. Be cautious and avoid taking chances. The very curiosity that once fueled their enthusiasm for life gradually wanes as they begin to hear advice like, be realistic and practical. Be realistic and practical. Gradually bury our true selves under layers of doubt, fear, and routine until many of us reach adulthood and have forgotten what it even means to feel truly alive. They avoid trying new things out of fear of being wrong and stop chasing their aspirations since they are informed their dreams are impractical. Over time, individuals tend to believe that making errors is something to be embarrassed of rather than something to learn from. We follow the same daily routines, the same safe paths, the same expectations that society has set for us. We trade passion for stability, creativity, for predictability, and excitement for comfort. And here's the saddest part. Most people don't even realize it's happening. They assume this is just how life is supposed to be, that giving up on dreams is part of growing up, that questioning the world is pointless, and so they stop fighting for something more. They settle for a life that is safe, but uninspiring, comfortable, but unfulfilling. But what if it didn't have to be this way? What if we could strip away those layers of doubt and fear? What if we could reclaim the curiosity, the passion, the fire that society tried to take away from us? Because the truth is, you were never meant to just exist. You were meant to live right now. At this very moment, you stand at a crossroads. You have a choice to make one. The choice to make one. That will define the rest of your life. One path is familiar, predictable, and safe. It's the path that society has prepared for you, the one you take every morning to get to work. Observe routines and perform your commitments. It's pleasant, certainly, but it's also lifeless and devoid of zest and desire. And relevance, there is another, more difficult way that demands guts, perseverance, and fortitude. It leads to silent regret instead of contentment, the type of regret that sneaks in years later, when you realize you've spent your life just existing rather than actually living. It's a voyage loaded with risks, obstacles, and uncertainty. It's the route of dreamers, risk-takers, and individuals who won't settle for a mediocre life. It's the route where you reignite your fire, push yourself beyond what you believed was possible, grow, learn, and create a life that is really your own. It's the road where you take failure as a learning opportunity rather than a setback. Address your worries, push yourself, and not allow life to pass you by. It's the route that finally leads to passion, purpose, and a life worth living. But there are some things you need to know. If you don't actively choose to live, life will make the choice for you. It will push you into the routine of comfort and stagnation. It will lull you into a false sense of security, where years will pass by in a blur. And one day you wake up, wondering where all the time went. Where all the time went. So ask yourself, what kind of life do you want to live? Do you want to look back years from now and wish you had been braver, that you had chased your dreams, that you had taken the leap? Or do you want to wake up each day knowing that you are living, fully embracing every opportunity and becoming the person you were meant to be? The choice is yours, and the time to choose is now. Take a moment and ask yourself, are you truly alive, or are you just going through the motions, waiting for time to pass? Because time doesn't wait. Every second, every minute, every hour that slips by is time you will never get back. The world keeps moving. The days keep changing, and whether you realize it or not, your life is being spent. The question is, how are you spending it? Are you chasing your dreams, embracing new experiences, and becoming the person you were meant to be? Or are you stuck in the same cycle, waking up, working, scrolling through your phone, going to bed, and repeating it all over again? Do you feel excitement when you wake up in the morning, or